Hey everyone, this is Brian here from Massey's Main Entertainment. We are back again doing our Building the Perfect album. We're up to one of my favorite years, at least one of my most nostalgic years. Really, when I started actually collecting a lot of music myself, buying 45s, actually recording music off the radio onto a cassette tape, all those things that a 12 and 13-year-old boy would do when he started getting into music. So we're up in 1982. Kind of getting into the heart of new wave. MTV's probably kicking into high gear a little bit around this time. It's going to be a very diverse group of music and everything. Joining me today is Rich Strickler. Rich has his own channel. You get a chance to check it out, please do. Variety of stuff he covers. He just recently did a song ranking for Elton John's Madman Across the Water. I haven't had a chance to watch it myself, so no spoilers, Rich. I really don't want any of that. And joining me also is Doc, our resident hard rock guy. We know he's going to bring that every week, so we're always preparing for it. So what we do, guys, is right now we're running a tandem thing where we're going to do our Building a Perfect album. So we'll rank our 12 best songs from this year, putting them on an album. And then we're also going to be recording our best movies of 1982 as well. We plan on releasing those things on the same date every week. So we like to release those things in tandem. That way, you can watch something on my channel for the music and then switch over to Rich's channel. Check out the movies. It's a great information. You can learn a lot of stuff and maybe get some suggestions. Give us some suggestions too of movies, music maybe that you are into. So, comment, like, sub, do whatever you can. So, guys, what did you think about 1982?
Pretty solid year. I mean, I thought 81 was a little better, but a lot of my favorite artists showed up in 82. They released albums. So I was able to cherry pick some songs from them. And this is the MTV era, so I associate a lot of these tunes with the videos that were playing at the same time. It's just that the way it was back in 82. Yeah. So it's a fun year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think your opening there, Brian, you kind of covered it off there. Like, music's changing, man, and pretty quickly here, I think, too. So you're right. The MTV era is taking off, and that new wave factor is coming in. You're who you are at this age, whatever age you're at when you're in 1982. If you're alive, you're listening to this, then me and you're the same age. So we're both grasping at whatever is attracted to us at that time. So
exactly.
Yeah, it gets pretty diverse. I wouldn't say it's my favorite year. I'd be lying if I said it was, because to me, it just pulls out so many different things, but it still opens up other doors for me too. So I stick in my wheelhouse, but I do venture out a little bit here and there, and we'll see that in my picks, I think.
Awesome. So the sequence tonight is I'm going to go first for both the music and movies. Doc, I think you're going to go second.
Second for both.
For both. And then Rich, he gets the back cleanup for both, which is what he prefers anyway. He really just likes.
He really does.
He really does. If we just said he's always had to go last, he would never say a word.
I'm the caboose. Okay. I'm the caboose of our little train here,
And also a reminder real quick, we will put Spotify lists for all the songs that we choose for our specific lists. I'll put them in a link down below. Check them out. It's always really nice to kind of go back and listen to them. I use that to help me weed down my songs down to 12 as I'll play the list over and over again. And eventually I start like subtracting songs from the list as I feel like one song is better than the other. So check them out. So yeah, okay, guys, I'll kick it off here, I guess.
Boom.
So one of my favorite songs, like I said, 82 is like a nostalgic year for me. One of my favorite songs, and I wanted to use this one automatically, was going to be my lead off track. I've got Golden Earrings, Twilight Zone, kicking it off here. I really like it. I mean, I think it's really cool. It's actually got a bass solo in the middle of the song. I mean, you got a radio edit version that's only like 3.5 minutes, but there's one on the album that's like 8 minutes long,
7 and change or something.
It's crazy. But what a great tune. It's even got this really narration at the beginning in which there's like they're narrating, but then there's also an echo narration that's going on. It's saying slightly different stuff. Almost gives you that surreal feel like a Twilight Zone episode. It's kind of cool. So I wanted to lead off with that one. My second track is from Elvis Costello's Imperial Bedroom. I've got Beyond Belief. Really, really weird, surreal lyrics. If you really if you look at the lyrics on this, but it's so cool. And Elvis Costello's got such a unique delivery. He even gives like a little shout out to Nick Lowe in the song, where he says it's so cool. It's so cruel to be callous instead of cruel to be kind.
Be kind.
That's kind of like his little shout out to Nick Lowe. So I know Nick Lowe did a lot of work on some of his albums in the past and big influence for Elvis Costello back and forth. So kind of a cool song. You should check it out. It's really different. Number 3 for me is The Clash, Rock the Casbah. Combat Rock's kind of a slightly different album for them, a little bit more accessible, than most people would think with The Clash. But Rock the Casbah's just got this weird piano riff in it, that's almost like a bar stool piano, and they're kind of like mixing it in there with the raspiness of their voice and this punkish drum line beat that's going. I think it's such a cool song, and I loved it back in the day. It's great to be able to say back in the day now, go back 40 years. I get to say back in the day. Number 4, I've got Tom Petty. I've got You Got Lucky. Absolutely one of my favorite songs by him. And it's kind of a narcissistic song in a way. It's like basically he's telling this girl that she's got lucky when she found him. Instead of kind of like that reverse thing that
the other way around.
in a love song. Usually you're saying, I'm really lucky I got you, babe. But he kind of flipped it on her a little bit, saying, no, you really got lucky when you found me. And it's kind of really cool. Number 5, I've got Don Henley's Dirty Laundry. Kind of a cool little song, a little bit different. Basically, it's just talking about the media and media coverage and how they like to go for sensationalistic journalism over quality of journalism. Even back then, everything was like, what is the hot story? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? It was always just trying to find the story that's going to be the most popular, not necessarily the most newsworthy at the time. And I think it's a really cool song. Wanted to put it here. And closing out first side, I've got Nebraska from Bruce Springsteen. Actually, one of my favorite albums up until the time that hits Tunnel of Love. Nebraska is like really high on my list, and this one's got a completely different sound than the 2 albums prior to. Very dark, kind of morose lyrics, and I like the boss on this one, so I wanted to close out with something from this album. I'm really high on this one. So
very cool.
Was that the title track, Nebraska?
Title track, Nebraska.
Title track.
Got it. Good. Well, I like your album. I'm not going to give anything away, but I like your album.
Well, I won't say numbers or anything like that, but we're there's at least one hit in there for us, at least, Brian. So
okay.
I have a few, but I'm not going to give a number.
Stick with at least one, Rich. At least one's good, eh?
At least one. I'm playing Doc. I'm going to keep it close and come out with it later.
I like at least the fact that I picked 2 songs on that side of albums I was never exposed to as a 12 and 13-year-old. Nebraska I didn't listen to.
I wouldn't think so.
No, and I did not listen to early Elvis Costello, so I wouldn't have listened to Imperial Bedroom at all.
Yeah.
Back then, so it was kind of nice to throw those in there and mix those in with some of the ones that I knew were going to be there automatically. So. Starting off side 2, I've got from American Fool, I've got Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp, or John Cougar. He was called then.
Right.
Americana, heartland rock kind of stuff. Grown very appreciative of Mellencamp here recently. When you go back on his catalog now, it's very strong stuff. He's a very good songwriter. I really appreciate the stuff that he did now, especially on that album. He had a good string of albums that just kept on going all the way through probably Human Wheels, probably in the early 90s, and then it kind of tapered off a little bit, but he had a good run of albums right from this stretch all the way through then. So second track on this side, I've got Gypsy from Fleetwood Mac from Mirage. Maybe probably now I would say definitely this is probably Stevie Nicks' most powerful vocal performance. Some of the notes she hits in here when she's reminiscing about her time spent, in the Velvet Underground and the places that she lived, where she was just basically used to sleeping, in this tapestry laden room, basically on the floor. But she kind of misses that simple existence that she had early on in her life and early on in her career. So it's a great song and very catchy. Number 3, I've got finally Men at Work's going to make its first appearance. From Business as Usual, I got Who Can It Be Now? MTV really pushed this song heavily when it was actually out. Obviously, saxophone driven song, basically. It's got even a saxophone solo in the middle of it. Colin Hay released a couple solo albums. He's a very underrated guy. He did a whole acoustic set of some of his songs that he did with Men at Work, called Man at. His name of the album was called Man at Work, and he did a great job. Some of the stuff that's on there is just incredible to think that he was able to do that all acoustically. Number 4, I've got Peter Gabriel's coming back for us. I've got Shock the Monkey. Really, there's like all sorts of competing theories about what the song's actually about. But when you're talking about Peter Gabriel, anything goes.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever he'll give 2 or 3 interviews, and every one of them will have a different answer. And for the same question, what's your song about? And he'll have a different complete answer. So,
Right.
but it's kind of, it fits that new wave music that was starting to come out in '82. And he was able to kind of blend in with some of the stuff there, with some high synths and, his trademark kind of echoey sound that he has on some of his tracks. I really like it. Number 5 for me is from Prince's 1999. I've got the title track. Song that was absolutely played to death. I was actually introduced to the song. I actually, every Sunday I'd watch a rerun of American Bandstand was always on for me, but also Soul Train, because I grew up in Virginia in a larger city. Soul Train was always on Sunday, so you could watch Soul Train. That's when I first heard 1999 by Prince. I mean, you just didn't hear it anywhere else. The album's great. It's a double album. Prince does, like he does in most of his albums, he plays almost all the instruments on it, does all the writing, all the producing. He's just a jack of all trades. And this song was huge, obviously, in the year 1999, especially with Y2K coming up strongly. Everybody was playing this song again. So, and closing out my whole album, I'm going to put my very first legitimate rap song by Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 called The Message. Actually charted, didn't break into the top 40, but actually charted into the Hot 100. Basically, it's just a rap about life in the inner city, some of the struggles that inner city youth were going through. And it's just kind of a big, it's a big deal that rap was starting to make some type of headway into the charts. And Flash, I'm glad that Grandmaster Flash was the one to do it. I only owned this on a 12-inch single. I didn't have, obviously they didn't have a full album until later on when they got popular and this song got popular. They actually came out with an album and kind of a lot of filler to try to fill it up a little bit. They had The Message 2 on there and another song called New York, New York, but the motif was kind of the same inner city type of rapping and stuff like that. So that's going to close it out for me.
Wow, I'm really surprised how many similar artists we have. I didn't expect it, but I think it's the most we've ever had together. How about 8 out of 12?
Wow. 8 out of 12?
Yeah. You'll see when
That's crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list right now, Brian. I guess I'm going to do mine next anyway, so we'll figure that out. But
yeah,
that was good. I really enjoyed it.
Your album sounds like 1982 to me.
Yep,
it really does. It sounds like 1982. I think my album's going to sound like 1982, and I think Rich's album's going to sound like 1982. But I really, obviously, according to Rich, now, obviously, you guys are going to hit on a lot more than me and you hit on, Brian.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I had my list of honorables, it's almost your friggin' album. So that's what I'd say right now. So
okay, yeah. All right. Well, then, Doc, you're up next. Then, buddy, you gotta lay it on.
What do you do in 1982 at Doc says, man? Yeah. So I think I mentioned it before. One of my first 45s was The Spirit of Radio by Rush. I was a newspaper delivery boy. So this is what I got for delivering the Toronto Star.
Ooh.
My second one I got was Judas Priest, You've Got Another Thing Coming. And that's what I start my album with. Told you, man, I like some Judas, man. I don't like a lot of this kind of music and stuff like this, but I'm cherry picking. This is my first 45s, man. This is right in I was listening to this when I was 12 years old, man.
Wow.
Wow.
Tell you, man, this one I got my own stereo, so now it's like not even family stuff. This is like me doing my own thing. So this is a big step for me in my life. So that's with the game and all that. When I bought all those things, so you got another thing coming. What a rocking tune from Judas, and if you can't move to that one when you hear even the guitar, you don't have to like this kind of music. But this one's really a catchy tune, man. So how I start my album in 1982. The side's gonna rock for a little bit here, guys. So maybe you guys can suggest it. Maybe not. I couldn't figure out how I was going to do this or not. I really, there's a couple of tunes that have been with me my whole life off this next album as well. But I took "Run to the Hills" from Iron Maiden as my second tune in. So.
Wow, man.
Okay. Yep.
This or "Number of the Beast," both are. And "Hallowed" is another great tune off this album as well. But those first two are really more rock, and it's this is actually a heavier rock sound with a story. It's actually like a legit story and stuff. And Bruce sounds awesome here, man. This is like I said, man, it's another one. And this guy's hitting notes that you never thought a rock guy would hit, like at some points either, man. Hitting songs that Bruce can really sing, man. And Iron Maiden's been around a long time, man. I think I'm underrated in a lot of senses, let's say in the Hall of Fame-ish neighborhood and stuff like that, where they should probably get a lot more recognition than they do. These guys have been pumping it out to millions of people for a long time, and this is an iconic Iron Maiden tune, man. Gonna follow that up, man, with Scorpions. "No One Like You." It'll be my third one in. Oh,
We lost Brian. Here he comes.
oh, maybe Brian's coming back.
Yeah, I saw something pop up. He'll be back.
There he is.
There.
He was upset. I went with like 3 in a row.
So I only got your number 2.
Well, that's good. I was getting right into my Scorpions "No One Like You" pick, and then I looked at you. You're all frozen, like staring at me, like, "Keys, man, what the hell are you doing? You're nonstop here with your rock." It's like. But yeah, it is "No One Like You" from Scorpions. It's another rocking tune from this time, and you can see how that was in 1982, right? I probably picked maybe 3 of the heaviest hitters of like that heaviest kind of music, but those are the 3 tunes that have just stuck with me my whole life at that time. So. I'm picking 12 songs in 82. These are making my list, man. That's Doc's House in 82.
That's it.
It changes a little. I got "Subdivision" by Rush as my 4th tune in here.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan of Rush, and I'll be honest with you, I was not happy with this album when it came out singles. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't like the new direction, shall we say. We just came from Moving Pictures into this, and that sound was quite drastic and changing and everything else. But
this was
over
Signals,
the years,
right?
man.
This was Signals, right?
Yeah. New World Man's on this, and obviously Subdivisions, which is when you look back on it, 40 years later, this song's fantastic, man. This is in the last 20 years, this is a great rock song, man. A lot of meaning behind it. Great lyrics again from Rush. And we can talk about that one, "Blue in the Face." But yeah, it's making my list of the top 12 in 82, man. Going to Billy Joel after that, actually. Maybe not the song you guys thought, but I love "Good Night Saigon," and that's the one I'm taking with me off this album, man. So
Great one.
me?
Great song.
Yeah, it's a great tune, man.
Yeah.
And Billy doing storytelling again. This one obviously has got a lot of the war involved with this tune and stuff like this, but I just love this song. There's a couple Allentowns on this one, Pressure's on this album. It's a good album, man, but this is, to me, far and away the best tune on this album. So to me, it might not be to everybody, and that's the way it is, but everyone can have 12 different songs maybe. But "Good Night Saigon's" a great tune. I'm going to end this side. My very first concert. This is the concert I went and saw. I saw the Who's "It's Hard" tour. That was my first concert. October 9th, 1982. Eminence Front is ending my side, man.
Yep.
Also, in the Rush segment of sounding different than the Who, but man, does it ever sound fantastic. And Pete gets that organ in there, man, and he gets that synth going. That guy can write a lot of stuff with that thing going, man. What a great tune. Catchy as hell, goes on forever. And you just bop away to it, man. It's just one of those tunes, and it's climbing my ladder on Who songs, actually, and on my list over time. So Eminence is right up there for me, man. It's ending my side A.
That's a good choice. I mean, I got that as an honorable. I have an honorable mention. It's like, but it's like one of my top 5 Who songs.
Yeah,
And,
see?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
got just such a great riff to it. You know what I mean? That
You just
beat,
bop away to it, man.
yeah, you just bop away. Bow, 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 bow. I mean, it's just great.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a good one.
I'm glad you had Billy Joel in there on that song. That's a good one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which direction you were going to go there. If you had, once you said Billy Joe, I didn't know whether you were going to go with Allentown or Pressure. I didn't know which one. And then you went with Goodnight Saigon, which is a fantastic
That's a
tune.
great
So
song.
Yeah. That's Dockside A in 82, boys, right there.
yeah,
No
And like
surprise.
like a lot of my albums, it changes drastically on side B, man.
Yeah.
So, but
Let's see how much.
start off with Phil Collins on side B to start it off, man. I don't care anymore. It's going to lead off my second side.
Yep.
Phil's pumping them out here, a couple back-to-backs on albums and stuff like this, and I don't care anymore. It's still like this side can almost like it's a different sounding side, could be a different thing. Still awful. He sounds haunting in this song too, man. It's it almost has, elements of Face Value that you can hear that almost got carried over. Like this was a leftover tune from Face Value, and he put it in here, and it's like,
yeah,
it's a great tune. And like I said, it's haunting, it's dark, and I don't think Phil sounded better than this, to be honest with you, at this time, really. Bits and pieces later on, maybe, but that'd be cherry picking at that time. Gonna follow that up with Caught Up in You, man, by 38 Special is gonna be my second one in.
love it.
Yeah.
Right.
Still liking that 38 Special. They still got some cranking out some tunes. It's that southernish rock, and I think if you watch the last 15 years of our videos, man, I like a lot of Leonard Skinner and everything else that goes with it too. So every time they came out with an album, I had a song more or less, or I could too. 38 Special is kind of in that same vein to me. Not quite the same level, but same vein. But Caught Up in You is a really catchy, just a catchy tune, man. Popish, rockish sound, man, and it's fits the bill for me in 82. Brian, gotta like that golden earring pick, buddy. Twilight Zone's coming in number 3 for me, man.
great tune.
I mean, how can you miss it?
A bass solo. How do you miss out on the bass solo, right?
That bass is just so bloody catchy in that tune. I mean, Golden Earring. I mean, I've only been around forever, man, but I only know 2 tunes, and this one's awesome, man. And, Radar made my list the last time, so like that, I'm going to listen to all the time. I've listened to some Golden, but nothing stuck like these 2 tunes. And Twilight Zone's an awesome tune. You're right, that long version, 7.5 or 8 minutes, whatever that is, man. Just go for the ride on that one, and play that right after Radar Love, and you'll get to wherever you're going to get to, because those are your cruising tunes, man. So, so that's cool, Brian. I'm glad we both had that one, buddy. Bowie's Putting Out Fire with Gasoline, man. It's going to come in at number 4. Thank God it got released as a single. Thank God that movie came out, whatever it was, Cat People or something like that.
Yeah.
Another dark, haunting tune. Bowie doing whatever he wants to do, and talk about a tune switching up as much as you can possibly imagine. Yeah, sure, it made people know it for Inglorious, I guess. Famous scene in that movie, but I've probably known this song for the last 30 years because of my family anyway. So this is not new to me, man. But Fire is a top 10 Bowie for me, man. Making my list in 82. Didn't see this one coming. I got Roxy's Music's Avalon coming in at number 5, man.
Oh,
that's out of the left field.
that's so undock. Very cool.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Look, they're just spreading the wings a little. Okay, that's all. That's sure, cool. Scorpions. I can go to Roxy Music. So
yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of Roxy. There's no getting around the Brian Ferry thing and stuff like that. It's not going to hit with me, man. There may be, I'll cherry pick some tunes maybe from there. This is, to me, their best song. I've always liked the song. I've liked it since it came out. I remember the album when it came out. I listened to the album when it came out. And this song is, it's obviously a smoothing, easy listening tune that is, in one sense, nothing special, but in another sense, it's very special. So it's been with me for my whole life, and I love the song. So it's just the flow of it, really. Get in my 82 with the Empty Garden by Elton John, man. I can't get around it. So it's also a top tenor for me on Elton. Sad.
Oh,
Love the meaning behind it. And to your point before, Brian, was I listening to all these things back in 82? No. Was I listening to some? I was listening to a lot. Other songs I grew up with later that I go back and listen to. And, you know, like I said, you know, Bowie's been there 30 years and Elton's been with me for a long time as well. And this song it's definitely making my 82, man. That's why I'm going to have my album.
that was really cool because I mentioned that I had 8 of Brian's 12 artists, and I'm wondering, is Doc going to pick up the other 4? I picked up 3 of them, so we have I have 11 of my 12.
Oh, between the two of us, you got 11 of the 12.
Yeah.
Whew.
Pretty
It's
cool.
probably that Roxy Music pick that threw it all off.
Oh
there.
yeah, that's right up there, man.
You threw us off. There's like no way. We'd have been like, what?
Little curve here and there. Here and there.
No.
Very good.
That was different, but cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's heavy, and the front loaded part is heavy, like you like, and then a little smattering on side B, hodgepodge.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody kind of had a little bit of a crush on Nastasia Kinski in that movie.
Oh no shit!
Cat people. Oh my god. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that movie too. So, and I've seen the original Cat People, which had absolutely zero to do with whatever they released in the 80s. So I remember that song.
Kinski had it going on, man. She was the real deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Very
there we
cool.
go. What do you think, Rich?
I like your album, man. I mean, I know it's a little rough for me in the beginning, but picked up those 3 of the 4 I was looking for, so I'm happy.
There you go. Let's see how yours goes here, brother. Let's give her a shot.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I'm going to lead it off with Rock the Casbah by The Clash. That's my opening track from the Combat Rock album. Hit number 8 on the charts. It was a hit. You got the lead singer there, Joe Strummer, with that, like Brian said, the raspy voice. Very energetic new wave. The video was a big sensation.
Yeah.
It's about a ban on Western rock music by an Arab king. Sharif and all that stuff. It's just a really cool song. With the long, what are they called? Turbans and stuff. They went all out on the video with the oil rigs and all that kind of stuff. Number 2 song, I went with Who Can It Be Now by Men at Work. The Australian band with that saxophone. You mentioned Colin Hay. Kind of a fun, quirky tune, new wave pop. But I always liked it. I think it still holds up as a whole catchy tune to this day.
It does.
You can move to that one.
Yeah. Number 3 is, I went over to Doc's side of the fence. Caught Up in You by 38 Specials on my album.
Cool.
I'm a fan of 38 Special, so I like that Southern rock, top 10 hit, sort of a pop Southern rock. It's not flat out rock. It sort of crosses that pop line with the catchy chorus, Caught Up in You, Little Girl, all that stuff. I went to, it's a real catchy tune. I can't even sing it, but I know it's in my head right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 4 is my Prince tune. I went a little bit different. I went with Little Red Corvette off the 1999 album.
Yeah.
And like Brian said, Prince plays everything on this song: guitar, bass, drums, synth, vocal, songwriting, producing. He's like a legend in his own time, a virtual one-man show. And Little Red Corvette's a catchy video as well. It's kind of sexual, very sexual innuendos to it. You can read between the lines and figure out the Little Red Corvette. Number 5, nobody had this. This is the one that nobody had, no artist that no one had. Billy Idol's White Wedding. I always like this tune. I think it's like his signature song, a post-punk pop tune. He had that sneer kind of when he sang A White Wedding. Hey,
doing a Billy Elvis.
little Elvis, the spiked hair and the bleached
Right.
blonde hair and attitude all over it. What a day for a white wedding, you know? My number 6 and closings on side A here is one Brian had, Gypsy by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Off the Mirage album. Stevie Nicks, just an excellent vocal on here. I like the lyric here, lightning strikes, maybe once, maybe twice. It was inspired by Stevie living her lifestyle before Fleetwood Mac, as Brian mentioned, like longing for those gypsy kind of days where you never know where you're going to sleep one day to the next. You're kind of chilling and living that gypsy lifestyle, a nomad on the run kind of thing before she settled down and got involved with Lindsay and then led to Fleetwood, and the rest is history. But really great song. One of my favorite Fleetwood Mac songs, easily. And that's going to close out my side A.
Very cool.
Well, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good album, buddy. For sure it is.
Really is. And Gypsy's like when I did my top 10 Fleetwood Mac for RTTC, it was number 2. Only after Dreams.
It's pretty high up
Really?
on my list. I think it's number 5 for me because I like a couple of those Lindsay tunes, and I like Silver Springs, which is that hidden tune, but I love Go Your Own Way and some of the other Fleetwood Mac songs. But it's one of Stevie's best. She gives a great vocal on it, for sure.
Very good.
I noticed my side B are all solo artists, no bands, but they're right in my wheelhouse. So I'm going to kick it off with Billy Joel's Allentown. I love Goodnight Saigon, but for me, I just wanted to lead it off with a pop with that Allentown. You hear the factory stuff, and it's kind of an anthem for blue collar America, the Rust Belt states. They closed Bethlehem Steel back in those days. People were out of work who were used to working in the plants and the mills and the factories, and Billy's paying homage to those folks. He was raised in Levittown, Long Island, and this is Allentown, Pennsylvania. So
Pennsylvania.
kind of similar kind of working class folks. My number 2 track is off the Nebraska album. I went with Atlantic City by Bruce Springsteen. So I'm going Allentown to AC, both in the not far from me. I can drive
East Coast trek.
an hour and a half either way from where I live. So both Nebraska, Brian mentioned, kind of a dark, raw, acoustic side of Bruce. That was the first time we had seen that from him. All the songs are kind of little vignettes, little stories. This is an organized crime story, Atlantic City, the Philly gang and the New York gang and the AC people, the mob, all fighting for power. They blew up the Chicken Man in Philly last night. A guy actually literally blown off his porch in a bomb. True story. Phil Testa, who was the head of the South Philly mob, was taken from the headlines. So I have always liked that song. My 3rd track, You Got Lucky by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Mhm.
Like you said, a different sound for him, kind of I don't know whether he's saying that egotistically, but maybe he's saying that she was nothing and you got lucky that when I found you. You could read it either way. It's either bringing her up or making him look like this pompous ass, whatever you want to say. But I'm a Petty guy. I had to have a Tom Petty on here.
Awesome.
Interesting song from him. It's different. It's got that drum loop and the synthesizers more so than the actual hard rock or classic rock that they usually play. My 4th tune is Mellencamp. I did not go with Jack and Diane. That's an honorable mention. I went with Hurt So Good.
So good.
Heartland, American Fool, the album. I love the drumming on here by Kenny Aronoff, who's the bald guy you see in the video. He's a touring drummer with Mellencamp and Fogerty. He's an excellent drummer. The catchy chorus, sing-along song, Baby It Hurts So Good, you know, all that stuff. So had to be on my album. I love Jack and Diane, too. So it was a toss-up. My 5th track is Dirty Laundry by Don Henley. It sounds like Brian's album here. This is the focus on the tabloid TV, the sensationalism in the news, commentary on the news business at that time. They wanted to really rip people or exploit people more than give you headlines. Traditional Walter Cronkite stuff was out the window. This was a new tabloid journalism. Kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down. That lyric runs through the song.
Kick them all around.
Take them all around. I think it's well written, well performed. And my last track, just like Doc, I went with Empty Garden from Elton John, a real sad homage to his buddy John Lennon, who was assassinated in 1980. Hey, hey, Johnny, won't you come out and play? You know, and he used the garden metaphor of growing in this, you know, there's stones in there now. And I've been knocking most of the day. I've been calling, hey, hey, Johnny, can't you come out to play? Real sad, melancholic tune. So that's going to end it on a sad note.
There was a lot of good music in '82, guys.
Maybe it was better than I thought, man. Yeah.
I think we took the cream of the crop and just went with it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, a lot of strong albums. We could say that for sure. Because there's like a lot of albums, like, you know, you get Business as Usual. There's like 4 songs you could pick off of that. And you know, there's 4 songs you could pick from Nylon Curtain. I mean, there's, you know, there's a lot of stuff.
What was interesting to me is we didn't even touch Thriller. Didn't Thriller come out in '82?
Yeah, you know, I had Billie Jean down for a while, but I didn't feel the connection with it that I did the other songs.
I didn't either.
For longevity, I didn't feel it, and maybe because I was tired of hearing it, and I don't want to think about the music video of him dancing on the light up sidewalk stuff. You know, that's all played out to me, I guess.
Yeah, but that's like by far and away the biggest selling album of the year,
right?
And not one of us had one tune from it, which was interesting.
No.
Not that we don't like it. We are tired of it. And it had its day and ran its course, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's not the stuff.
I think that's the right way to put it, I think, Rich. Yeah. Yeah, I respect the album for what it is.
I think being honest, I mean, if you would have had to pick between Michael Jackson or Prince, who had a bigger impact on R&B, people are going to say Prince now.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to think that would be true. You know, I mean, Michael Jackson sold more albums, but he sold them to 14-year-old girls. I mean, that's who he sold them to.
And I did like a lot of those songs on Thriller. I don't want to mislead anybody, but I would say 1999 and Little Red Corvette are better than any of the songs that are on the Thriller album for me. Just my personal taste.
Yeah,
you know.
So.
I guess if I was to be completely honest, I don't have a Thriller or a 1999 song on my list. I was not a big fan of either one at this age for me.
Right.
As years have gone on and everything else in life, I have way more respect for Prince than I ever did or ever thought I could. This guy is really, really talented.
Yeah.
But if I was to go back to 1982 and pick a song, I bet you I'd pick one off of Thriller before I pick one off 1999. That's my own personal take.
I can see
I like
that,
later on stuff from Prince is what I would say.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Well, the song Thriller itself and Beat It on there.
Thriller's a pretty good tune, man.
It's on there. Billie Jean, Wanna Be Starting Something, right? They're all
Beat It. You know, he's got these songs, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every song on Thriller was released as a single.
Yeah.
Every song.
Yeah.
How well it did is one thing or another, but I don't know. Honorable mentions, Doc. What do you got?
Like I said, I just gave you my Prince, another thing there.
Right.
I had Dirty Laundry. You got lucky. I had The Heat of the Moment actually on my list.
So did I.
Roll Me Away. Mama, We're All Crazy Now by Slade. Was almost going to make a list. I had Both Hurt So Good and Jack and Diane that just missed.
Yep.
I had Rock the Casbah. Obviously didn't make my list, but it was there. Who Can It Be Now?
Yep.
Gypsy. White Wedding. So I had everything else you guys said on your friggin' albums. They had just made this list, not this one. That's all. That's all I can tell you. So.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had Run to the Hills. That's off of the Number of the Beast album, right?
That's right.
I had that. I mean, I had that album.
Wow.
Yeah,
even at that age, I had that album. You know.
Awesome.
Now let me run through a quick. I don't have as many as I usually do, so I'm not going to.
Okay.
I have Heat of the Moment, Jack and Diane, Good Night Saigon, which were covered. I actually like Bad to the Bone by George Thorogood. I put that in there. Southern Cross and Wasted on the Way by Crosby, Stills and Nash.
That's right.
I wasn't going to pick either one because we can't do them on Spotify, and I'm not, I'm protesting. What else do I have? Always on My Mind by Willie Nelson, a good little tune. 1999 Prince, Someday, Someway, Marshall Crenshaw, and everything from Nebraska, other than the ones we picked. I love that whole album. Highway Patrolman and Johnny 99, for example. Great album.
Yeah. I mean, I had Hold Me also by Fleetwood Mac that
Yeah,
wasn't
that's a good
mentioned.
song.
I had, Down Under and Be Good Johnny from Business as Usual.
Yeah.
I had Let's Pretend We're Married and Little Red Corvette and DMSR from 1999. You know, he just had so many good songs off of that one that but it just felt like now looking back, it's like it's 12 albums that were the best of the year. Everything else is kind of fit wherever it was going to fit, you know.
I don't want anybody thinking I didn't miss it there, but I had Nebraska written down as the album. I just didn't pick a tune from it.
Yeah.
If I did, I probably would have picked Nebraska.
It's hard to pick a song off of that because they're all very similar. I like Used Cars, another song on there as well.
Yeah,
it's actually a pretty good tune. It is.
Okay, well, that's going to wrap it up for 1982, everybody. Be sure to like, comment. Please leave your top 12. That would be awesome. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Check out the Spotify list that we have down below for everybody's playlist. Thanks for joining us, Doc. Thanks for joining us, Rich.
Thank
Be
you.
sure to check out Rich's channel. He's going to have the best of the top 10 movies from 1982 up on his channel. We're going to release them the same day. So if you watch my video, please watch his video as well. We're just trying to bring you the best of entertainment for every year during this span. So we really appreciate everyone watching. Everybody take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.